Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. The Pixel 6 Pro is in the studio. This is TK and I am super excited to be able to check out this device from Google. I've been waiting for it for quite some time. The announcement just happened yesterday. We have the Team Pixel Edition box right here in the studio. So let's go ahead and check it out and of course see some of the new features coming in. And honestly, I want to compare it to the Pixel 4 XL, which is one of my favorite Pixels, as well as the Pixel 5 from last year. This is TK, and this is the Pixel 6 Pro Team Pixel Edition. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So this is the Pixel 6 Pro. The packaging is actually very nice, very slim. Google Pixel 6 Pro. This one is in the Stormy Black edition. There's a few other options available, of course. And they also did include a case for me, which is really nice. And this is one of those new ones. Reminds me a little bit of the Pixel 5 from last year as far as the color. So here we are, the Pixel 6 Pro. The bump is definitely pronounced, there's no question about it, but I'm sure any case that we use to complement this will obviously alleviate that additional bump. One thing to keep in mind though, because it is symmetrical across the actual backing, it allows us to have the device sitting flat onto the table without having any wobble addition, so that's something to keep in mind. The 6 Pro does have the additional sensor that's present right there. That's the 48 megapixel sensor on top of the 50 GN1 sensor and of course the 12 megapixel ultra wide that we have on both systems. The battery that we have here is a 5000 milliampere battery compared to the 4600 that we have on the Pixel 6. But as far as sizes as well, this one is a 6.7 inch display at 120 Hz refresh rate with a QHD resolution display, as opposed to the 6.4 inch display full HD at 90 Hz on the Pixel 6. On top, we have one of the microphones, nothing else. On the side here, we have the power button right there, as well as the volume rocker. Of course, some of the antenna bands. On the bottom, we have a bottom firing speaker, USB-C, and no other microphones, but I'm imagining one of the other options here is going to be housing the additional microphone. And then, of course, lastly, we have that additional microphone sitting there with a dual-tone LED flash sitting at the back. And, of course, the Google logo on the back. As far as the package, we already knew that the charger was not going to be included in the package. We do have a USB-C to USB charger and of course an OTG adapter to transfer our data. Coincidentally, the Pixel 6 Pro is going to be charging at 30 watt wired and 23 watt wireless, as opposed to the Pixel 6 is going to be charging at 30 watt wired and 21 watts wireless. Very small amount of difference, but again, the battery capacity is going to be the biggest difference there. And as far as the case itself, it looks really nice. And again, this is the green one. And it actually adds a nice little accent color to the phone. Now, even though the phone is, again, a darker shade, when you add the green one with the bump, it does actually alleviate some of that. So it raises the camera coverage on the back, access to the buttons, and it still gives us that ability of having it just flat on the table without any wobble issues. Now, one of the things I wanted to do today is I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the evolution within the last 3 generations, or at least 2 generations prior to the one we are here. This is the Pixel 4 XL. This came out 2 years ago, and it basically still is one of the champs as far as a device running from Google. One of the main characteristics about this is that it actually featured no fingerprint sensor. It actually featured the Soli chip at the top, which allows us to actually unlock the device by just looking at it. So I can unlock the device by looking at it, and you can see it works right away. And that's one of the technologies running here. I'm still running Android 12 here. The update did get pushed out. So if you guys have any devices that are Pixels and you've been running a beta or you want to update to Android 12, make sure you check the update. It should be able to push out for you very soon. But one of the things that we'll notice big here is the fact that we've been on a trend, a dual sensor trend from Google for quite some time. First, we had the dual sensors, a primary shooter and a telephoto lens. That's when Google was focusing mostly on the telephoto lens as the best experience. Last year, Google changed the experience to when we were able to get an ultra wide. Now, we do have digital zoom, but with the 2 sensors, it gave us a much better range of photography. We were able to get a wider angle shots as well as close up a little bit with the 2-time digital zoom. What we have now is an evolutionary upgrade. The ability of going to the 50 megapixel GN1 sensor, to the 12 megapixel ultra wide, and to the 48 megapixel telephoto lens. It is massively a big leap forward in technology. On top of the fact that this is also the first device running a non-Qualcomm processor. This is running the Tensor processor with the Titan M2 chip from Google. So Google really has gone through and designed not just the software, but the experience as well as the hardware to make sure that the software is complemented all throughout the experience with Android 12. And the other thing is the ability of actually going to a QHD resolution with 120 hertz refresh rate. Last year we had the 90 hertz refresh rate here, and again this time we were able to go all the way. Like seriously, Google is going for that premium experience all through and through with the Pixel 6 Pro in 2021. We went from no fingerprint sensor with a face unlock with Soli to a fingerprint sensor on the Pixel 5, and now we have a fingerprint sensor that is actually embedded into the display. So an in-display fingerprint sensor with the ability of getting, again, also the front-facing camera is upgraded to an 11.1 megapixel camera, which is also a little bit higher than the 8 megapixel on the Pixel 6. As far as the display size, we can definitely see here that from the 4XL, we went from the 6.3-inch display, and of course, one thing to keep in mind, the reason why we had bigger bezels on the 4XL is because of the Soli chips that was available at the top, down to the 6.1-inch, more compact last year with the Pixel 5, and of course now to the 6.7-inch display on the Pixel 6 Pro. Keep in mind that the Pixel 6 is also slightly bigger at 6.4 inches. So both 6 and 6 Pro are actually bigger than even the Pixel 4 XL from 2 years ago, and providing us again a different experience overall with 120 hertz and the QHD. We have the QHD resolution here at 60 frames. We went up to 90 hertz here. Now we have 120. There's no secret that I'm really excited to be able to check out the Pixel 6 Pro. And I want to say thank you very much, of course, to Google for allowing me to actually check out this device as they sent me this review unit. But the main thing I want to say is that I've actually been waiting for this for quite some time. All of the improvements that we saw yesterday at the launch event, the fact that this is the most secure Pixel to date with the brand new Tensor processor as well as the Titan M2. I can't wait to start digging into it and then testing it out and doing a whole bunch of different things for us to be able to give you guys some really nice content on the channel. The improvement and the evolution from the 4XL over to the 6 Pro are definitely substantial. That's if there's a better word to say, I would probably say they're really moving in the right direction. This is truly the premium experience that Pixel's been trying to shoot for quite some time. The Pixel 4 XL was a very hard device for me to remove my SIM card from, not because it was stuck, but because I couldn't force myself to change devices when that device came out. And I'm really hoping for a similar experience with the Pixel 6 Pro here. Thank you very much to Google. Thank you very much to you for checking out this video. Hope you enjoyed this. Of course, like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we put out new videos for you on the Pixel 6 Pro. And again, keep it here, Team Pixel for the win.